Welcome. I'm here with Rick Anderson, the President and General Manager of North America for DarioHealth. Rick, how are you doing? Thanks for being here.
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Really excited to be talking with Dario. It's a very exciting company, and obviously very excited to learn a little bit more about what you guys are doing that differentiates you. Let's start right there, actually, with DarioHealth. What differentiates digital therapeutics and telehealth and medicine? What kind of insight can you give us there?
Yeah, so I think that there's been a lot of focus on telehealth, especially during the pandemic, and telehealth is really about providing provider services on a remote basis. So it's really just a digital version of the analog in-person visit, but it still relies on one-to-one interactions with a provider, which are fantastic when that's required. I think the real difference with digital health or digital therapeutics is really digital health is what happens between those visits. And it has a variety of different advantages. It can help people with their condition because, the reality is chronic conditions are what happen between provider visits. So, you can utilize both telehealth and digital health to really have a remote experience that maximizes the outcomes and the care that you're giving to people as part of that process. And it's really the care that happens between the visits. It can be one to many, it can be asynchronous, it can happen without having a high-speed internet connection, and you can really individualize the content on a broad base. So it increases access, reduces cost, and really provides more care for people than telehealth does.
Terrific. Okay, it's a great base to set there. Can you talk to us just exactly how Dario's multi-condition platform, targeting, of course, those 5 chronic conditions, serves as an integrated digital therapy platform for patients?
Yeah, so I think one of the things that is unique about what Dario is doing is we've really looked at conditions that have high comorbidity. So they exist together frequently. So if you think about diabetes, hypertension, weight management, musculoskeletal issues like digital physical therapy, and then behavioral health, they all have a high level of comorbidity. So we have members that are dealing with multiples of those. And what that means from a user experience point of view is that Dario is the only fully integrated solution that's out there. You have one member journey. The data is tied in behind the scenes so that when we use our AI engines to make personalized recommendations, it can be across those conditions. So you log into our platform and it's all going to look the same. It's going to feel the same. You're going to have one coach. You're going to have one user experience. Most of the other companies that are out there are either single point solutions, so they're managing one thing, and the member experience there for a member is I got to go to company A for my diabetes, I got to go to company B for my behavioral health, and then I have to deal with 2 coaches. They may give me recommendations that are not aligned with each other. I'm not sure which one to do, and it really creates confusion and frustration for members, and then they tend to stop using one or all of those other pieces.
Got it. That part of it's really interesting. And this is a good segue out of that, but also a really interesting piece of the puzzle. Can you talk about Darios Advantage, such as this, when you're moving from that direct to consumer to the business to business, ultimately to the consumer model instead?
Yeah, I think the direct to consumer background is really in Dario's DNA, and that is a huge advantage as we move into the B2B, because essentially Dario solved the hardest problem first. What is it that people want? What will keep them engaged on the platform? We retain about 80% of the people that are on our platform at a year, which tells you that we're providing value to those people. And that learning that we got from that as we go into the B2B space, meaning really providers, health plans, and self-insured employers, is that enables us to take that experience into that market and really help those individuals and keep them engaged. And we've taken all of the data that we've generated over time out of the direct-to-consumer business and use that data to understand what are the patterns of members, what do they find of value, and really connect that into our AI engine. And it allows us to dynamically personalize the experience for people that are coming on the platform, because what I want to do today may not be the same thing as what I'm willing to do tomorrow. My disease state may be different than somebody else's, and as a matter of fact, it changes over time. And one of the other things that's key is that I change over time too, in terms of what's going on in my environment. So, if I wake up and I say, okay, I'm going to start working on my diabetes, and I'm 3 or 4 months into that, and I'm making really good progress, but now let's say I, tweak my back, and now my back hurts. Well, I'm going to be less concerned about my diabetes because my immediate concern is my back hurting. So the ability of the platform to adjust to that, understand how people interaction with the platform is changing, and change with them is key to keeping those people engaged and on the platform. And the data really shows that, if you can keep them engaged, you keep them on the platform, give them information and suggestions that's useful to them, then you can improve clinical outcomes.
Absolutely. Okay, and then all of these things kind of leading us up to this crux question as we start to move into the final portions here. But Dario is positioned to be a leader as the telehealth and the healthcare industry are obviously going to continue to change. But what do you think are the specific elements about the company that set it up to be that leader as the industry changes?
I think, again, there's a few things, and some of them really boil back to that direct to consumer experience. I think that the level of engagement that we get is best in class in the industry. And that then translates, because we're able to keep people on the platform, assist them with behavior change, really to have best in class clinical outcomes associated with that as well. And the fact when we work with our customers, we really look at the world as sort of an open architecture that we're trying to bring as many people in to help members as possible. So we'll share data with different sources, which is unlike most of the other people that are in the industry, and that integrated experience that I was talking about, and really focused on things that are comorbid that our members are going to be struggling with over time, and how many more of those can we bring into a single unified user experience is what's going to differentiate Dario and really make us a leader in this field.
Amazing. Well, certainly looking forward to watching all of that come to fruition. And the base has certainly been set. So we look forward to watching the progress. Rick Anderson, the President and General Manager of North America at DarioHealth, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.